Hey, I wanted to talk to you about something important. People often think that the world is just black and white, good and bad. But it's way more complicated than that. The line I walk as Batman is shadowy, and I learned early on that you can use the darkness inside to actually do some good. When I was a kid, something terrible happened that marked me forever. My parents, they were taken from me right in front of my eyes. That night, I fell into an abyss so dark that for a moment I thought I'd never find my way out. But I made a choice that would define the rest of my life. I embraced the shadows within me, turning my pain into strength. I trained, I learned, and I fought, not just against the criminals of Gotham, but against the despair that threatened to engulf me. Now, what am I driving at? Darkness. It's something we all carry within us. It's like the night outside. It can be your friend if you let it. You just need to control it. Don't let it control you. It's about understanding your shadows, your fears, and using them as fuel. Gotham, the city is full of shadows. Crime, corruption, and fear lurk around every corner. But if you know where to look, you can also see hope. The hope in the eyes of a child who dreams of a better future. The determination of a mother working tirelessly for her family. The courage of a man standing up against injustice. This is what I want you to understand. Being a hero, it's not always about standing in the spotlight. Sometimes it's about being that guardian in the shadows. It's about knowing that the world is a maze of light and shadow and playing your part to protect it however you can. And the shadows, they're not just the fears or the bad memories. They're also the quiet moments when you sit alone, thinking about who you are and what you want to become. They are the challenges that shape you, the quiet battles you fight every day. So, what's your story? What shadows are you fighting with? What's that thing that keeps you awake at night? I believe you can find your path just like I did. Not saying you should wear a cape or anything, but find that thing that drives you. Find your darkness and decide how you can use it for good. Take a look around. The world needs more guardians. People who are willing to embrace their shadows for a greater cause. Maybe it's speaking up for someone who can't. Maybe it's protecting someone who needs it. Or maybe it's just being there as a friend when someone is going through a tough time. The world needs your strength, your passion, your shadows. Don't let them go to waste. Harness them, let them guide you to fight the battles that matter. We all have a breaking point, but it's how we come back from that, how we use the shadows to become something more that defines us. My city, my home, Gotham. It's a place that taught me about the shadows within. And now, I stand before you as someone who has been through the abyss and came out as a guardian. You can be that too, in your own way. Remember, the night can be a cloak, a shield, or a teacher. It depends on how you embrace it. We are all made up of light and darkness. But here's the thing. You might be wondering, how do you keep the shadows from consuming you? How do you keep the balance? The answer to that, my friend, is purpose. You need to have a purpose that's larger than yourself. For me, it's the protection of Gotham, to make sure no other child has to face what I did. What's yours? Have you thought about it? We live in a complicated world, and yes, sometimes it feels like a relentless storm. But within that storm, you can find your calling if you let your shadows guide you, and if you control them with a purpose, you can be unstoppable. You don't have to be defined by what happened to you or by what you were afraid of. You can be defined by what you choose to do with it. And remember, you're not alone. All around you are people who have faced the shadows. Some have conquered them, some are still struggling. Don't be afraid to reach out, offer help, or ask for it. Sometimes even Batman needs a Robin. So I want you to do something. Take some time, sit in the quiet and talk to your shadows. Ask them what they have taught you, what strength have they given you, and then find your purpose. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be bigger than you. One more thing before I go. The shadows, the night, they don't always have to be dark. Sometimes they're just the canvas on which you can paint the most vibrant streaks of light. Be that light in the night for someone. Be the guardian that shadows don't frighten. Who knows? Maybe one day on the rooftops of Gotham or in the halls of justice, our paths will cross again. Until then, find your purpose, embrace your shadows, and never forget that within you lies the strength of heroes.